Welcome back to Prophecy Unfolding. We're seeing prophecy unfolding happen at a very, very fast rate. Things that are happening in the world, something that Donald Trump and Vice President Vance has just said, it's like it's sent the world into absolute meltdown. Something that was said by the Vice President at a conference that he had in Europe really struck a chord with many people over here with Europe, and I wanted to share it with you today. It did stir a lot of controversy, but it really did show where we are at the moment, and it really highlights, I believe it highlights what's happening in the world and how the people in power seem to be wanting to kind of stir up absolute strife. Scripture and prophecy tell us there's certain things going to happen, and at the moment, obviously we're seeing wars and rumours of wars. We're seeing all types of factions in terms of race wars in some parts of the world. It's just happening at an unprecedented rate. What I'd ask you to do is to watch it unfold, get the full context of this, and stay around to hear what Mr. Vance said, but also smash the like button so that someone who does not know Christ may come across this and start their journey. But have a listen to what Trump said about meeting up with Putin very soon.
I think he wants to stop fighting. They have a big, powerful machine, you understand that. And they defeated Hitler and they defeated Napoleon. They've been fighting a long time. They've done it before. And but I think he would like to stop fighting. It's a war that should have never started.
Do you expect Zelensky to be involved in these conversations? What will his role be?
I do. He will be involved, yes.
On this recording, we know that Trump is actually about to meet up with him. And one thing he did was exclude Europe out of the peace negotiations, even the Ukraine. Obviously, for reasons I personally don't know, but I can understand why he would have a conversation first with Putin and then go to Zelensky in the Ukraine and try to see can we get some sort of negotiations done. But it's the first time we've seen that some sort of peace talks are needed or about to happen there. Europe has had 3 years and still hasn't tried. It seems like Europe has become a bit of a warmonger at the moment, and it seems to be escalating more and more. But what Mr. Vance has said has struck so many chords, especially with people in Europe at the moment, with everything that is happening. Have a listen.
No voter on this continent went to the ballot box to open the floodgates to millions of unvetted immigrants. But you know what they did vote for? In England, they voted for Brexit, and agree or disagree, they voted for it. And more all over Europe, they're voting for political leaders who promise to put an end to out-of-control migration. If American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg scolding, you guys can survive a few months of Elon Musk. But what no democracy, American, German, or European, will survive is telling millions of voters that their thoughts and concerns, their aspirations, their pleas for relief are invalid or unworthy of even being considered.
Now, the whole thing of mass migration is a huge topic of conversation, not only here in Ireland, but the UK and the rest of Europe. Now, I am in no way by means saying that we should shut the door, no one is welcome. My own family is very multinational and very multicultural with all different cultures involved. But I believe what's happening in Europe at the moment, it's so easy to see that it's spinning out of control. We have borders in order to protect the citizens that are there, and yes, we allow people in, but it has to be done legally and it has to be done slowly in order that there's not much pressure on the infrastructure within a country. But over the last few years, all over Europe, Germany, Sweden, all these places, Ireland, the UK, the doors just seem to be flooded open. And because of that, the people that were kind of talking about this and protesting on it were either called far right, or racist, or all the kind of the words that they use. To be a nationalist now, to be someone that loves their country, they're almost calling it far right. And I just see the stir of all these types of civil wars in all different countries. I just see scripture really opening up when it says kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation, ethnic group against ethnic group. That's the actual language when you look into the original Greek what was used. And it seems like they want to stir this up more and more, when really, throughout history, if the people out of the power, or what we call the layman, if we stood together, we could get rid of corruption. But it's so difficult to do when the people in power control the media, they control the talking, they control all the spin. But what I see happening when it comes to Trump and his administration, I wouldn't be the biggest fan of Trump in terms of how he politically speaks. As a businessman, I think he is A1, but in the political sphere, he is making changes, which is good to see. We need to see it more and more. I believe what will happen this year, I'm hoping that a bit of peace will come there and to the Middle East, and we see some sort of relief. But that's me inside wanting that. Scripture and prophecy tell us different. What we have to do is to be ready. And the main message here, even if you're from a different country watching this, someone that's looking to relocate, is that obviously my prayers are with you, number one, but know that Christ can be found, that humans are fallible. We don't have a perfect, a lot of us try our best to be the best that we can be, but Christ did it perfectly. He lived that life perfectly. He gave himself and died so that me and you can be free. And essentially this is what the overarching message should be on all of these types of things that we see online and all the content, is that the gospel message still saves. Remember, even though there's chaos going on in the world, God's always in control, and keep the faith.